What is up, everyone? I'm Jeff London. This is the Mediocre Alaskan Podcast, where we are intolerant of weak-minded attitudes that keep people from pursuing new and exciting things in the areas of fitness, outdoors, and general lifestyle. I just got back from a hunt. It is the afternoon of September 16th, 2018. Just got back from a hunt, overnighter, with a buddy of mine who I teach with at the high school here in Ketchikan. There's a subtle difference between a guy or a buddy you've hunted with and a hunting buddy. So me and this guy, Evan, we have hunted together once, so I wouldn't consider us hunting buddies yet. And after me taking him to this spot, we're now 0 for 2. He came over to Prince of Wales Island a couple years ago, and it was 3 years ago, and it was on Labor Day weekend. And the big question, the question I kind of want to talk about is, when do the deer move out of the Alpine? You can kind of tell by looking from town up at the Alpine, and you can see the change in the color of the vegetation up there. So if that's what the deer are eating, and it goes from that nice lush green to a brown, you would think that they would start moving down. But when does that happen? And is there a way that you can kind of accurately look at that? If I were to go to the store and look at the salad and see that it had already turned, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. So I wonder if deer kind of do the same thing. So 3 years ago, I went to Prince of Wales with my buddy Kevin, and it was Labor Day weekend, and everything was pretty much dead up top. But we still went to the Alpine because it was only Labor Day weekend. And we saw one doe, and that was it. Camped, nothing. There was some fog, so that wasn't ideal, but that's how that went. And then 2 years ago, buddy Evan, who I just got back from the hunt with, we went over there Labor Day weekend, and we did see a bunch of bucks. So it was interesting. Well, not a bunch of bucks. We saw exactly 4 bucks, one of which was a nice fork that I took a shot at and missed, took another shot at and missed, took another shot at and missed. So I emptied the chamber 3 times. And nothing. It was an elevated shot, a little bit far, and I absolutely destroyed my scope. Fell on it. But that's for another trip. And then Evan also shot and missed out a bear. So it was a pretty rough trip. But point is, or to kind of reconsolidate here, I was on another hunt with my buddy Evan, and I was trying to decide where to go. You know, this was a good spot, and I'd shot a deer up top, up in the Alpine this year, and I shot a really nice buck down below last year during rut. And so you just got to look at the ridge and think, okay, at what point are they going to be moving from the Alpine down to the bottom? And it doesn't mean that every buck has to be in the Alpine. You know, how many bucks are hanging down low and just live down low? So when we went over there, I wanted to hunt. There's a little bit of a clear cut, and I wanted to hunt the clear cut to see if they'd kind of moved down. I'd seen a couple bucks up top, and like I said, I'd got one there earlier this year. So I wanted to look at the clear cuts and see if they'd transitioned from the Alpine that looked like it had started to die a little bit. And because it's mid-September now, and the past 2 trips that I talked about had taken place during Labor Day, which is, 2 weeks ago, time-wise, but everything was already dead at this point. I didn't know if anything would be up top. I wonder if they'd transitioned down. However, it's been nice and warm. There have been maybe a couple days where the overnight low has gotten into the 30s, so the most part, it's changing up there for sure, but the weather hadn't really chased them down. And so I'm not really sure if there's a specific date, not that deer care about a calendar, but is there a date that you should stay off the Alpine? So I wanted to do the transition thing, and Evan wanted to go up top, so we split halfway up this ridge that took him to the top of the mountain, and then got me on top of these clear cuts. So I was looking at the clear cuts, couldn't really see, it had grown over a little bit, so it was kind of tough. I did get a nice vantage point of a couple other clearings that were down low in the bottom, and saw a bear from 261 yards away. And I thought, well, I got a bear tag and I got a deer tag, so we'll see if I'm moved to shoot this thing. It fed down by this little creek, and then it came back out, and I thought, man, this thing this thing might want it, but it's hard to tell how big it was. Not that I'm just about shooting only big animals, but you don't want to accidentally shoot a yearling or something that's just a really big cub or something, because for some reason like your depth perception gets messed up, or you think it's a decent sized bear but it's really a small bear. I didn't want to, unbeknownst to me, shoot a sow. I was kind of looking for one of those big deer killing boars, if that's a thing. And so with all the fish that haven't really been in the creek, I figured it would taste fine either way, because you've got more plant life available than you do fish, and so it probably would have tasted pretty fine. But I definitely wanted to get something that was a larger. Didn't want to accidentally shoot something that was smaller than I thought, or accidentally shoot a sow with cubs. Certainly wasn't big, and so the fact that it didn't give me a clear shot for more than about 4 or 5 seconds made the decision pretty easy. So I stayed at the spot, and I was looking down at that, and I thought, you know what, let's just head down there. Let's head back down this ridge. We'd hiked for about a half hour. Evan continued up, and he was going to camp up top. Then I was going to kind of meander my way down. So I did. And then I ended up feeling pretty bad, because I was essentially running a rut program in an area that I wasn't sure if I should be all the way up top or not. So rather than choose like a mid-September routine that was kind of the timberline and that sort of range, I was in a full-on rut sort of mode, and it was hard for me to sit on the edge of these muskegs, even though I saw some nice trails and I saw some really nice, fresh, really big pelleted, which I would assume maybe would be buck. Maybe that's just because I'm being super optimistic, but but I'm sitting on the edge of a muskeg, and sitting on the edge of a muskeg is your rut program. So doing that while Evan is up top, I wondered how things were going for him. And I thought about the last time I was up to where he was, and I saw 3 bucks. There was a nice 3-point. There was and then two forks. One was a really, really nice fork. The other one was solid. Any one of those I would have taken for sure at this point, because I'm getting a little bit low on meat. So I went down and I tried the top of the last little part of the clear cut. Then I worked all the way back down to the bottom and was sitting on the edge of those muskegs, like I said, and ended up camping pretty near where we started hiking, and set up my hammock. And I bought a new North Face tent last year, and I really like it. But my girlfriend, before she was my girlfriend, which kind of concerns me, if she's already influencing my spending, and even before she was my girlfriend, that's a little maybe concerning. But she has these Eno hammock, and they're awesome. So I bought one, and then used it this Labor Day when we were down in Colorado. I was down there visiting her, and they're great. They're awesome. They're sturdy. They're pretty roomy, and so I thought this would be a good time to try out camping with it. Because if you're just taking a hammock, you don't have to worry about tent poles. You don't have to worry about the tent itself. So bulk-wise, there's a lot less stuff that you're taking with you. So your pack's a lot smaller, and it's a little bit lighter. I still brought the Rainfly just so I could kind of set it up over the hammock.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plans shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
In case there was some condensation or some dew in the morning, they do make, and by they, I don't know, whatever pronoun that refers to, makes covers that go over it. Covered, whatever, the shelter type thing that goes over you. So in case you're camping in a hammock in the rain. But I didn't want to buy one of those. It's like $70. So I figured I'd just use the Rainfly. So I set up the Rainfly over my hammock, and it was supposed to be a clear night, which again was fine. I just didn't want just to wake up and everything just be totally wet because of dew. So I got set up, got in there. My thermarest popped during the Colorado trip, so it has well, I wouldn't say popped, but it's got a slow leak. So I filled it with air and it would just drain out. But you have to have something beneath you in the hammock. Because there's airflow beneath you, you lose so much of that heat. So you're not able to heat up even a little bit of, your thermarest and then a little bit of the tent and then maybe the ground a little bit. It is stinking cold because it circulates and just steals air from you. So I had my uninflated thermarest beneath me, which helped. But as soon as I moved off it just a little bit, that part of me started to get a little bit chilly. I have a Marmot 10-degree bag, which is a nice bag. But still, if it's moving heat, and it's rough. But outside of that, man, it was great. It was awesome. It was comfortable. There, you could move to different positions. You could go fetal if you wanted to. Lay on the back obviously was primary, but it was nice. The one thing I think it's also helped if you have an inflated thermarest or something that's a little bit more substantial. But the hammock does kind of encourage a shoulder rolling forward or kind of inward. So if you're sleeping for longer than like a nap, then that can. There were a couple of times where I woke up and my shoulders felt that they were kind of being crushed in, so I moved them back a little bit. But it was cool. It was good. I figured if it was the first time I was going to try it, might as well make a good story, because if it was miserable and it was cold, and it got maybe the low 40s last night, so it was definitely cold, but not far from unbearable. I figured, if you're going to do it the first time, might as well make it potentially pretty miserable. But worked out fine. It was awesome. I felt a little bit more exposed because just hanging there like a burrito in an area that had bare crap around it, but everything was fine. So that was camping. Evan was up on top. Woke up this morning right before the sunrise by about 30-45 minutes. This is another thing that you just do you have a spot in mind where you want to be for shootable light, but at the same time, what if you kick something up as you're going to that spot and it's either too dark to shoot or not dark enough or too dark for you to see what's going on there? So I waited a little bit and then I started moving to get to the spot I wanted to by the time it was shootable light. And so I was happy that in the walk to get to that point, there was nothing that I couldn't have really seen because it was just a whole bunch of shadows. So I really don't think that I spooked anything. But got to the spot I wanted to be, and I was looking from the bottom side of these clear cuts because again, clear cuts just seem like the place to be. September, people swear by staying up top. People stop going up top around the 15th of August. They do. They get $1 or $2 up top early, and then September is either rest time or clear cut time, and then late October is starting the rut. So I was kind of following the the idea that clear coat would be a good place. And I looked from the bottom this time, and I saw nothing. Nothing at all. So after a couple hours sitting that way, I then kind of just followed back into that rut routine and sat on the edge of a muskeg for a while and saw some fresh sign, and but ended up seeing nothing at all today. Yesterday I saw that bear, had maybe a shot at it, but decided not to, and I did not spook up anything, which is crazy. But it's that intermediate time, and a lot of people I know don't hunt September, because your two best times are Alpine early August, and then rut when you can call. So if you do well in August, and you want to save 2 tags for rut, then it's kind of the way to go. September doesn't really get hunted a whole lot, unless people are doing proxy hunts. But so nothing. When Evan got back, we met back when we were going to leave, he said that he saw bucks up top, which was crazy. And then part of me knew. Part of me thought, why not? The weather's been nice. Why wouldn't bucks still be up there? Why are you looking at a calendar? Why are you saying that, well, it's September 16th, September 15th? Why? Deer don't know about it. Deer don't care. I think part of you got to look at the weather, and you got to see what type of year does it feel like. And outside of maybe a day or two, it still feels like August. So why wouldn't there be bucks up top? And he said he saw 3 bucks up there. So that makes sense. I was looking at a calendar and I was thinking August is over. It's mid-September. We're almost closer to, rut than we are, that Alpine opener. And so rather than, use common sense, I was looking at the calendar. Buddy mine was over in Prince of Wales, and he saw a couple nice bucks, and he was right at the edge of the timber. So that again makes sense, getting right on that edge of the Alpine. Like they can still absolutely be up high. So as soon as on our way home, I started thinking, yeah, man, you should get back up there. But who knows what happens in a week, right? A lot can happen in a week, so all you have to do is have like a one bad storm to move everything down. This is kind of similar to when I went on an elk hunt a couple years ago with 2 buddies of mine. I drew the Edelin Island, and I drew the first one, so it was the first 2 weeks of October, and we went up there right at the very beginning of October, and the program for early season, if you do the bow hunt there, then it's get up in the Alpine. And a buddy of mine suggested getting to the Alpine, because even though it was October, get to the Alpine, and then you could see stuff that, maybe it's still up top. There had been about a week of really, really bad cold weather, and we still flew into the Alpine. And so I thought, you know what, man, that week of really cold, really bad weather probably moved them down, and we didn't see anything at all up top. We hiked 29 miles, which isn't, it's not a long way, but from camp we went out in every direction on these ridges by the place where we were going to get picked up in a couple of days. So it just goes to show that there's time of year you can look at the time of year, you can jot that down, but ultimately it comes down to, I think, looking at the weather, what the weather is doing, and then if you're not sure about going Alpine or going timber or going lower muskegs, look at what the weather's been doing. What month does it feel like weather-wise? But at the same time, you have people who've been getting nice bucks near the beach. So even in August. So it was August, but then you're getting nice velvet bucks down low and some of those low muskegs. So I know that's hunting, man. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And sometimes, other times, it's exactly as you plan. I think when things work out exactly as you plan, you think it's the plan, but maybe it was luck. Vice versa. Maybe you think it was luck, and then maybe it was just what you decided to do was the exact thing that you should have done. So, long story long there. Unsuccessful hunt. A buddy of mine went to the Alpine. I went down low because it's middle of September, and there's still some bucks in the Alpine. That's the way it is. How long they're there, who knows? But still a great time to camp, man. Everything, when it's nice up here, you just cannot beat it. On a day like today, it's low 60s, and it's sunny, and it's calm. You cannot beat Southeast Alaska when the weather is like this. Other places, the weather is nice. You never have to worry about it, and you kind of get used to it. But up here, knowing that it can be kind of gnarly at times, but just with the outdoor opportunities. Like right now during this weekend, you can be... Actually, I could, today, this afternoon still, there's still a little bit of time, I could go out fishing on the ocean. So you got cohos out in the ocean. You got mountain goat. You can go mountain goat. You can go bear. You can go deer. All within an hour. Some of them are even closer. You could do the road hunt routine on Revilla and just be driving around looking for bucks. So technically you are hunting. You would be driving around, listening to country music, drinking coffee all day today. Consider that hunting, but just chilling. Man, it's tough to beat when it's a day like this. But so there you have it. No real insight on this one. Look at the weather. Hunt when you hunt. If you are going to look at coming up here for a hunt, I would definitely recommend choosing a time that's definitely within one of those specific areas. So try Alpine, August 1 through 16th or so. That way you're clear on that end, or go clear rut, because though September might have some good bucks up top still, by and large, I think most years, middle of September, they're going to have moved down, and if it's too early for them to be coming to a call, that could be pretty rough. So if you are planning your hunts, if you're listening from down south, then plan your hunts either definitely in the Alpine season or definitely in the rut. But I'll do it for this episode 59. Make sure you check out the MediocreAlaskan.com. Check out the Drake magazine. I got an article coming out in the fall issue of that. And always appreciate the feedback. If you have questions, comments, issues, or ideas about podcasts, or you want to share a hunt, Harrison Gotchling up in Fairbanks shared his doll sheep hunt. Man, that was a lot of fun. So if you have a hunt that you want to share, let me know, and we'll see if we can make it happen. So that'll do it, and we'll talk to you next time.